So if you've been on social media this weekend, you have seen the ridiculous arguments that have happened between the red and blue sides of London, all trying to get back at each other. And one of, people are still supporting McCabe and her actions, with the usual, oh, it's just her. And people saying the ref needs to man up because, it's part of the game, swearing's part of the game, blah, blah, blah. Now, it is a passionate game. People do, that's fine. But it was more the fact that she's lunged towards Heaslip and then said it with such venom as she has. So I've seen that comment. Paul, take us away. Your thoughts, please.
I'm just reading Ronnie's comment.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. Right, Ronnie, let's have a chat, mate. McCabe is one of the most harshly treated players in the league. I 100% disagree with you on that, mate. You're welcome to your opinion, but
yeah, how do you politely say
not even slightly?
Right,
how is she harshly treated?
Let's talk about Katie McCabe, shall we? Because you've fed me that one. Katie McCabe, queen of the shithouses. The thing with Katie McCabe is that this red card is years of her actions coming home to roost. Because I saw a great tweet from Megan Faringa, who's one of the Athletic journalists, and very good, who, in a masterpiece of understatement at that red card, tweeted something along the lines of, amazingly, people may be surprised to learn that is only Katie McCabe's second ever WSL red card. Which is
very surprising.
And then she followed up with something like which some may find hard to believe, or something similar. And Katie McCabe being sent off on Sunday was a victory for the 30 other times she should have been sent off but wasn't.
100%.
Because she is. And, I will make clear here, everything I say from now on is about Katie McCabe as a footballer, not as a person.
Yes, just as her professional conduct. Nothing about her as a person.
As a footballer.
Yeah.
Okay? Before I get privileged for this. She is an absolute ratty little shithouse of a player. And she has built her brand on being that ratty little pest shithouse of a player who walks the very, very thin line of legality. And again, the best way I can compare this, I know I bring my sport for this. But in ice hockey, there's a defined role for this. It's a player which I love to play because it's a really fun role to play. And it's pest, where basically you do everything up to the bounds of legality to get under the skin of an opposition player. You can say stuff, you leave your foot in after a challenge. You hit them ever so slightly late, but within the bounds of legality. Your stick will go between the legs, and all of that. Katie McCabe is a master of the dark arts, and has been for many, many years.
Yes.
Now, the trouble with that is that you can respect a player who's master of the dark arts if you acknowledge, like Robbie Savage in the men's game, absolutely despised by every opposition fan who played against him because, Vinnie Jones is another one. Just players who get in there, wind up the opposition, go right on the edge of legality, attract, and almost seem to revel in that pantomime villain role. If that's all she was, fine. but it's not. She's built an industry out of being an absolute cow on the pitch, because her whole brand is, oh, it's Katie and she's a wind-up merchant, and oh, she's dead edgy.
Yeah.
And at a
Oh,
certain,
that's just Katie. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
very
just-
much that.
and at a certain, and it's effective up to a certain point. Like, and Ronnie is doing a wonderful example
It's
of
proving you're right.
of
Yeah.
the kind of defenses that are used. You know, full-blooded or
Passionate.
You know,
No.
sorry, if Lauren James had done what Katie McCabe did, we'd have had think pieces for days.
Yeah.
About her attitude problem, about how is her temperament right, is whatever else.
Is it suitable for the game?
Is it suitable for the game? Is it good for
role model? Yeah.
Role model, all of that
young
sort of
children,
stuff.
yeah.
And you know, there's that clip of her in the Champions League. She's thrown Natalie Bjorn to the ground. There's a clip of her that was posted afterwards against Bayern, I think it was, where she literally out of the blue suplexes a Bayern player. Like, she's stood waiting for a throw in. A Bayern player kind of comes up to her right shoulder, and her arm comes out and just goes bang right across the chest of the Bayern player. Now the Bayern player does go down slightly theatrically, as you would after getting whacked in the chest.
Yeah.
But it's the kind of thing that Katie McCabe's most prominent defenders, if that's done to anyone else, they're screaming for a red card. If that's done the other way, they're screaming for a red card every single time. And
do you remember the match against, sorry to interrupt you, they were at Meadow Park and it was against City, and she tried to have a go at Lauren Hemp, and Hemp all pushed back, and Katie landed on the floor like, oh, ref.
Yeah.
It's like, you've just started all of that. Don't try and play a victim now.
Her persona on the pitch is that snivelling little bully who'll go around, you know, winding people up. And the moment someone turns around and gives them a smack back, they'll go running to the teacher.
Yeah. No, and it is. And it's like you said, it's a fine line, isn't it, between playing the game, playing inside those grey areas, and just doing it for the sake of it because you don't think you're going to get caught. Like, as I think Sophie said earlier in the chat, when she bounced the ball off Chloe Kelly's head to get her out of the way. She didn't need to do that.
And it was all shared by media members as well as, oh, isn't this funny, lol?
Yeah.
Oh, Katie.
What she up to this time?
One?
Yeah.
It's like, that's violent conduct. It's a red card. It's And finally, she's turned around, and I had one message. Oh, in Ireland, we say fuck off for pretty much anything. You know, it's just a kind of response. And it was probably just out of her mouth. She's an international captain. She knows you can't swear at referees.
Professional footballer.
She did it straight at her as well, wasn't it? That's the thing that I was saying earlier. It was the directness of it.
It was a full-on.
It was coming forward into our face. Yeah. It was that. If she'd turned around and been like, oh, God, you know, fair enough, you're disappointed. But
it's really easy to say. I think if she'd done that in a nightclub, if she'd done that in a Coventry nightclub, she'd have been on her back. If she'd done that in a Dublin nightclub, she'd have been put on her back by, you know, most people, because the level of aggression that is. If a guy does that to female referee, imagine, you know, because of the level of aggression and because of the level of viciousness of it. And I'm glad, you know, we rip into Emily Heaslip. But I'm really glad Heaslip turned around and went, no, I'm not having that. I don't care who you are.
Yeah. Because there is a line. And that's the issue. It's, you know, people are saying there, oh, but you can swear at refs. No, you're not meant to. You're meant to respect them as a referee because they are officiating this match. Just because people do it doesn't make it okay.
You can swear at refs, and refs will turn around and say, behave.
Yeah.
You know.
But there's a difference between going over here and be like, oh, fuck off, ref, I'll get frustrated at it, rather than literally looking in their faces and going, F off.
That's
the difference.
That's starting a fight. That is literal.
Yeah.
If you do that on the street, you're going to get punched, or you're at least going to get proportionally aggressive response back.
It's just not acceptable. And that was what, the 84th minute, was it? And you just think,
with all of the experience she's got, she knows what's going to happen. She knows, like, that's
the thing, she's done it anyway.
It's not just going to cost them the title in this game. It's going to cost them a couple of matches where she can't play as well.
The main thing about it, and the thing that I think, and I tweeted about it, and we'll talk about some of the stuff I got back from that, because Arsenal, come and get your trash, honestly. But like, the main thing is the fact she looked genuinely surprised when someone stood up to her.
Yeah, she didn't think anything was going to happen.
It was full on spoiled child being told no. And that's what she is. And that is a monster that the WSL media have created and her fan base have created, and the whole culture of, oh, it's just Katie. It's awesome. I mean, what made me laugh as well, you know, when she has prominent clothing companies make things like McCabe t-shirts that people buy.
Yeah.
And then the owner of that company failed is going, oh, let the girl live. It's like, no, sorry, Helen. She's sworn at a referee, really? I'm like, if I did that on an ice hockey pitch, ice hockey rink, refs would go 2 minutes. I probably wouldn't get sent off straight away for the first one, but I'd probably get a 10-minute misconduct, which is, you know, might as well be a sending off. On a rugby pitch, you're gone. You know, there's that famous clip in a Premiership final of the captain of Leicester randomly saying something, and the ref just goes, gone. And then his actual quote is, the captain of Leicester has just called me a fucking cheat. He leaves the field. And that's what Emily Heaslip did.
Yeah.
And
the amount of backlash for people going, oh, she's a Chelsea fan. She never gives Chelsea cards. She never does this. Scrolling back through Emily Heaslip's like officiating records to find proof that she's against. And it's like it's still a professional position. If you're then trying to bring their reputation and their professional form into this, imagine if that went down the investigation route. And it's just like, there are so many things that people just say flippantly because they're hurt, because they don't get like the enormity of the situation. And it's just like, I don't understand anyone who can defend her.
If anything, I think this has shown the example of where women's football has gone too far with making players cult heroes and all of that sort of stuff. Because some of the stuff I got responses of, you know, people, Irish people, Virginia fans of Katie McCabe and whatever else going, fuck off, all of this. And homophobic abuse for it. Now, I'm openly bisexual, and, you know, there's people on there going, you fucking fairy. I'm like, really? She doesn't know you.
Yeah.
You know, she would probably, you know, you're making homophobic abuse and claiming to be a fan of women's football about a player who is openly lesbian. You think defending a player who is openly lesbian by hurling homophobic abuse at someone criticizing her is somehow going to work? And it's like, okay, we need to have words with the whole Katie McCabe industry thing now, because
well, it's other players as well, isn't it, who can't do anything wrong in the eyes of certain fans, and unfortunately they're the fan accounts and the fan troll accounts that unfortunately scream the loudest. So yeah, there needs to be, I mean, I don't know how, but the fan base, it is incredibly toxic.
I think the way around it as well, it's fed by the media, it's fed by people saying, with Katie McCabe, again, we're talking about the different ways players are spoken about and possibly a racial issue. But definitely the different way players are spoken about, and the way Katie McCabe is spoken about, it was a lapse of judgment, you know, she didn't mean it. She's a passionate player. It's a lapse of judgment. She'll probably be annoyed about it. She'll regret it. No, she aggressively, you know, spat abuse into a referee's face. You know, if other players do that, again, Lauren James is the obvious one, but it's disappointing.
Even in the comments already, well, what if she did what she's never done the same as that? And it's like, that's not. Why is that the comparison when that was dragged through the mud completely when that happened, to the point where, you know, clubs had to get involved and make statements, and it was horrific. The amount of abuse that LJ got for that.
I mean, it was happening. It was happening again. It was, you know, prominent Arsenal fan accounts going, you know, diving, cheating, dirty. Lauren James, the face of Chelsea, and it's like you're defending Katie McCabe, who is known, whose whole brand is getting yellow cards, basically.
And that's why no one's got her in their fantasy team, because she is unreliable to actually get through a game without getting carded or without getting
to the point where it's now affecting her brand. And like you say, Ryan, as an Arsenal fan, there are Arsenal fans questioning her place in the team because she thinks she's bigger than the team, possibly.
Yeah. And it's as a team as well. And obviously we've all been in teams, whether in work or whether in sport and things like that. If you've got someone who, yes, is a very good player, like we're not disputing that, but has that tendency to let the team down as a whole, as a team, that's got to be incredibly frustrating. So it's how do they move on? Because I know Renee Slegers, obviously, we know she's doing a fantastic job. She said, you know, I'm going to have a word with her. And at least she seems now that she's got that support around her, that, you know, she's made that decision. Hopefully they're going to have a chat about expectations and what's going to happen moving forward. Because, you know, if Arsenal want to get further in Champions League, they want to start winning things, they can't have someone as unpredictable and unreliable as that. They need to be able to count on every single person, aren't they? And just, I've seen this pop up. Ask Renee Slegers about Laura Weinreuter, about the transfer window. There's 2 days left in the window. I think you guys will find out soon. Laura's been a brilliant player for Arsenal. She's meant a lot and does still mean a lot to the team. So it sounds like Weinreuter might be off as well. So there we go.
I mean, the fact that they've brought in Nisronger, who plays in Katie McCabe's position as well, like, and now you've got a US international left back.
Yeah.
There, coming in. I think, I hope that Renee Slegers takes the approach that, sorry, Katie, you've screwed it up. You got to earn your way back in. We've got Jenna now. Yeah,
having her, you know, earn that position essentially is what every player should.
I think what will happen, I'm willing to put my mystic paw on. I think Niswonger displaces McCabe from the team.
Yeah.
And I think by July we start hearing Katie McCabe is rumoured to be unhappy with her lack of playing time at Arsenal. Because she's that type of player. And
maybe
if her off-field persona is the same as her on-pitch persona, then she is not a team player. And she started to reach the point where she believes her own hype. And her reaction to that red card showed it.
Well, she is a passionate, fiery Irish woman. So I don't know what you can expect, Paul.
Hi everyone, Freya here. Thank you so much for watching the Absolute Football Podcast. Please don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, follow, love, whatever you need to do to make sure you don't miss a single moment. Remember, you can watch one of the videos that are on screen now. And don't forget, of course, our women's football show, the Absolute Women's Football Show, is live every single Wednesday at 8:30 with yours truly and a fantastic panel. Join me each week and special guests as well. So remember to like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you in the chat next Wednesday.